So I was just reading something that, took place in secular society, but it reminds me very much of why the Buddha set up certain rules that he did for the Sangha. So, a few miles away in northern Idaho, there's, and it down by Boise too, a little bit more so in the Panhandle. There's a group of people, probably the Redoubters and others, who do not want to follow the governor's thing of stay at home because it is their constitutional right to lawful assembly. And the government is overstepping the bounds of the Constitution to tell them that they have to stay home. So, you may remember Bundy, I forget his first name, but he was involved with when they had the big standoff with the land management, Bureau of Land Management, and then took over that wildlife place in Oregon, So he's part of that, and they want to have a church service with 1,000 people on Easter, and have no wish to abandon their lawful right to assembly, and the government has no right to take that right away from them. So, clearly they're seeing life through the idea of my rights, and I think many gun people see it that way too. I have a Second Amendment right to have a gun and to carry it around and take it into the grocery store and take it to church and take it, to the child care center. It doesn't matter. This is my right. Okay. And, it comes in many other areas too, where people say, this is my right. And I was thinking about this, the way the Buddha set up the Sangha. It's like, yes, we have these rights to do the freedom to do whatever we want, but we are choosing not to use our rights because we care about others. Yeah. So I was thinking another area it comes up in secular society is wearing helmets. If you are a motorcycle rider, and many of them, they don't want to wear a helmet because it feels so nice to have the wind in your face. And it's my life, and if I want to put it in danger, so be it. And you be quiet and mind your own business. But I look at it as if there's an accident, you may die and you may not care because it's your right, but the other person involved in the accident will feel horrible for the rest of their life, whereas if you had worn a helmet and it saved your life, it would have saved the pain of the other person too, as well as the pain of your family and all the other people who care about you. But no, my right is the most important thing. So to really see, how much the Buddha said, you have that. But we are deliberately training our minds to see ourselves as part of a community, as part of the collection of all living beings. We're trying to get out of this thing of my right and me first, and I can do what I want, and don't tell me what to do, And why are we trying to get out of that? Because we see its disadvantages. Now, the people who want these rights, there's no disadvantage. I can go and assemble, and I don't care if there's coronavirus or not. In fact, Bundy said, I want to get coronavirus now while I'm still healthy. Well, that's fine, you can, but what about the medical workers that have to take care of you and are going to risk their lives to take care of you? Yeah, you're not thinking about them, and you're not thinking about your family and the people who care about you. Okay, so in Buddhist practice, we see the disadvantages. We meditate on the disadvantages of this kind of attitude, and we know how deeply rooted it is in us, and we are determined to uproot that self-centeredness, because we see how harmful it is to others, how harmful it is to ourselves, and how antithetical it is to the kind of community kindness that Venerable Sultram was talking about during her BBC today. And that kind of kindness that we all appreciate, that we find so inspiring, comes from that mind that says, yes, I can give away I can give up doing what I want to do. I can give up my rights, because in the end, it's much better for everybody. Okay. So of course, there's other things where you're not going to give up your rights, because you can see that following a certain policy would be dangerous and might lead to a dictatorship or something like that. So there you're going to stand up and say no. But there you stand up and say no because you're concerned with the welfare of everybody, not just oneself. Okay? So we take each decision as it comes, either seceding our right or standing up, but according to seeing ourselves as part of this interdependent group of sentient beings, and that what I do influences others, and I care about other living beings. Why? Because they've all been kind to me. Why? Because they're just like me, and they want to be happy and not suffer. Yeah. Why? Because when I harm them, I'm harming myself, creating negative karma. Yeah. So the Buddha's way of creating community is really quite special that way. Yeah, and you can see it. I forget what the number of the sutra is, but you probably have. Somebody, I'm sure, will remember it. When the monks they were doing varsa, and then the Buddha asked Anuruddha, did you get along harmoniously? And Anuruddha said, yes, whatever the other venerables did, I went along with it. Do you remember that? Anybody remember which sutra or number it was, or the title? I can't remember it. But anyway, well, it'll come. The beginning of our verse, right? Don't you have a little piece that you share with us about that? Yeah, it might be there, yeah. But again, it's so touching when you read that, because Anuruddha is so concerned with the welfare of the group, because he knows that if the group is happy and peaceful, he will be happy. And if the group is unhappy and restless and angry, and feel put out, then that's going to adversely influence him too. Yeah. So it's not just out of self-concern. It's genuine concern for others. But you can see that self-concern and concern for others, they go quite well together. It's not either or. Yeah. It's not either I have my rights or you're bossing me around and controlling me, and the government has no right to do that. Do you find it?
Yeah, it's
Majjhima Nikaya?
Yeah, 3, number 156.
Number 156. You want to
read it?
Yeah. There's a passage towards the end where he explains that. So this came up, because I read this article and it really made me think about how the Buddha does things.
The Buddhists ask, it's kind of long.
The Buddha asked him, are you happy? Lord, Anuruddha says, we are very content here. It is calm and peaceful. We receive ample food offerings and are able to share the Dharma. We are all making progress in our practice. Buddha says, do you live in harmony? Anuruddha says, yes, we do. But Anuruddha, how do you live together in harmony? Mutual appreciation and agreeability, like milk and water mixed, regarding each other with the eyes of love. Bhante, as to that, I think it is a gain for me. It is a great gain for me that I am living with such companions in the holy life. I maintain bodily acts of loving kindness towards those venerable ones, both openly and privately. I maintain verbal acts of loving kindness towards them, both openly and privately. I maintain mental acts of loving kindness towards them, both openly and privately. I consider, why should I not set aside what I wish to do and do what they wish to do? Then I set aside what I wish to do and do what they wish to do. We are different in body, but one in mind. That is how, Bhante, we are living in concord with mutual appreciation, without disputing, blending like milk and water, viewing each other with kindly eyes. Thus, we are many in body, but one in mind. And the Buddha says, good, good. I hope that you all abide diligent, ardent, and resolute.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So that is what we're training our mind in.